everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you guys are here again. I thank you so much for your support as always. And in this video, I woke up today, I got ready, I worked a little bit, and I decided why not whip out the camera and show everyone what I'm eating today. So I've decided to make different recipes than I usually do, pull out my older recipes that are still favorite recipes. So I figured I'd show you that they're quick, they're easy. The last one not so quick, but it's easy. You just leave it in the oven for longer, but it doesn't take much work to prep it. So I hope you guys give these recipes a try. Don't forget to tag me on Insta if you do try them, and thank you as always for your support. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe down below. So let's just jump into today's video. So for breakfast this morning, I decided to make tapioca, which is basically a omelet, but you add tapioca flour. So this is gluten-free. You can basically find tapioca flour anywhere nowadays. I got it at the Brazilian store. And for this recipe, I am using mushrooms, cilantro, scallions, and a small orange bell pepper, and some onions. Here you can add whatever vegetables you like. You can add no vegetables, you can add spinach. I also add tomatoes sometimes. I put it in right at the end. You can add meat. I decided not to add any meat this day. You can add any cheeses you like. So this is optional. Just do whatever your heart desires, or your stomach. So then you're gonna heat your pan with a little bit of oil, put all your veggies in, and just let them cook for about 5 minutes or so, but until they look wilted down and a little brown. So I added some salt, some pepper, and a little bit of red pepper flakes because I like my eggs to be spicy. Not too spicy though, it's still the morning. So this is where this recipe is different from a regular omelet. Here you're going to see me adding about a tablespoon and a half of tapioca flour with 1 egg. You can just double it up if you add more eggs, but I find 1 egg is thin enough and I like it that way. So just mix it all together with a fork is fine. Make sure you break the yolk and just keep mixing it to make sure you take all the clumps out because it does get really clumpy in the beginning. So I probably beat this egg for about, I don't know, a minute or two. You just want it to be very even, no clumps, and a light yellow color. Just like that, it should be fine. So I added a little bit of salt and pepper here too. You want to season every layer of every dish you make. It gives it more flavor that way, at least I think so. So once that is mixing, your vegetables should be done cooking. That's how mine looked. I like them more brown, as you already know by now. So I put it in a plate. That way I can only dirty 1 skillet, and I put that back, add a little bit of oil to it, and then dump in my egg and tapioca flour mixture and just spread it evenly throughout the pan. Like I said, this is going to be very thin. It's how I like it. You guys can add more eggs and make it thicker. My husband likes it with 3 eggs. So that's how I leave it. I sprinkled a little bit of mozzarella cheese on it, and you can cover it, let it melt. I just left it there for a couple minutes until the cheese started to melt. And then just grab the plate with all the veggies that you just cooked and put it back. And I just put it on half of the omelet, the crepioca in this case, and so that way I can fold it and it looks nice. So I spread it evenly to make sure every bite has some veggies. And this may look small, like 1 egg is not enough, but this is very filling. I don't even think I was able to finish this whole thing. The tapioca flour makes it more dense, so it's more filling that way. So once you're done, just flip it into a plate and it's ready to eat. And this was delicious and kept me full for quite a few hours. So now we're going into lunch. I did a pan-seared salmon and a very quick and basic salad. So first things first, let's cut up our salmon. I cut it into 2 pieces and I'm seasoning it with salt, pepper, again my basics, and the red pepper flakes. Once that is done, I went ahead and squeezed the juice of half a lemon and just let that sit for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you can do this the night before too, to make sure your salmon is very well seasoned and had time to marinate. That's also a good option. So that's how that ended up looking. I let the salmon marinate. I went ahead and started on my salad. Again, very basic. I'm obsessed with watercress at the moment. So I did some watercress and half an avocado. So add some oil to a pan and let it get really hot because you want to put the salmon in skin side down so it can get crispy. And this is going to make a mess in your stove. This took me quite a bit of time to get it clean, but it was worth it. It was delicious. So I covered it to avoid the mess getting everywhere, which it did anyway, so this was pointless. So you want to leave it on each side for about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, and then flip it and let it go again on the other side. So while you are searing the other side of the salmon, we're going ahead to season our salad, to dress our salad, and I'm using my basic here again. It's the other half of the lemon, salt, pepper, and then toss it. It's simple, quick, and it's delicious. The watercress is so good for you. I looked up the health benefits last week, but I cannot think of it now. But look it up, it's really good for you. This day was nice out, so I opened all the doors. I put a candle on so I could take the fish smell away from my house. So this worked out. And this is the dish plated. It was very crispy. It was well cooked. It was well seasoned. It was amazing. You guys need to give this recipe a try. So this is by far my favorite recipe for this day, and it's oven roasted steak chuck. It's delicious, guys. Trust me, you need to give this a try. It looks like it's a lot of work. It's just a lot of time in the oven, but it's so worth it. So first things first, let's season the steak. This is a very thick cut, and you want to make sure it's very generously seasoned. So add lots of salt, pepper, and cumin to both sides and the edges if you can. I rolled mine up on the plate after the sides to make sure the coating was all around the steak. While I'm seasoning the steak, I have a cast iron skillet going. You want to make sure again it's really hot and add some oil to it, and then just put your chuck steak in and let this go for, I don't know, about 7 to 8 minutes on each side or until it's very brown. So the brown crusty outside is going to give it lots of flavor. So make sure you're flipping it from side to side until you get good coloring on your steak. And I covered it for a little bit. I uncovered it. It was just no rule here. Just keep flipping it. And then I added this chipotle pepper and adobo sauce, and just with a kitchen brush, just brushed it all over the steak. This is really spicy, so if you guys can't do spice, add maybe a quarter of this, half of this. But towards the end, I removed the steak, and you're gonna see that I leave a lot of sauce out. But just be careful. This can be really spicy, but it also adds tons of flavor. So do it on all sides. Dump all the peppers in on the sides, and then I added about a quarter cup of chicken stock. You can add beef stock if you have it, and you want to cover it and put it in the oven at 350 for 3 to 5 hours. You want to keep checking on it. So once my steak stayed in for about 3-4 hours, I started on my rice, and today I'm making cilantro lime rice. So to a pan, I went ahead and added 3 pressed garlics, some oil, and about 3 tablespoons of cilantro. And then once that browned, I added about 2 cups of rice and let that cook a little bit for about 3 minutes or so. I kept turning it. And once it's been about 3-4 minutes, you want to add in rice, just enough to cover about an inch over top of the rice. And once your rice is boiling, you want to reduce the heat to low and cover it up and let it cook. It should take about 10 to 15 minutes. You will know once all the liquid has dried up, and you can use a fork and give it a try to see if it's not hard anymore. So now I went ahead and removed the chuck steak from the oven, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start shredding it. First you want to remove the ribbon, the tie that comes around it. So I move it to a different dish. I don't shred it in the cast iron pan that it is now, just because it has all the sauce in there. And like I said, the sauce is very spicy. So I can just get it out of the sauce, all the adobo sauce already infused in the meat, so it's very tasty. And now I just shred it, remove any like fat pieces, like that one and the right there. Ugh. So I remove all of that and I continue to shred until it's fully shredded. You don't really have to shred. You can serve it like this, but my family, we like the meat to be crispier and more on the dry side. This is ready to eat, but I'm gonna continue to shred it, add a little bit of the sauce back into it, and then put it in the oven just to get it crispier and make sure I serve it hot because people were not ready to eat at this point. So I just put it back in the oven in a little bit, you'll see. So here I am adding a little bit of the sauce. It was a little too spicy for my personal liking, so I wouldn't do this part if you don't like it to be spicy. I would leave this extra sauce out. But yeah, it was still great. So you put it back in the oven and just let it go. And then back to the rice right at the end. You just go ahead and add the zest of a lime. I didn't squeeze any lime juice just because I'm already doing lime juice in the salad and I didn't want everything to be too acidic. So then I go on to my salad. I added the other half of the avocado that I used in my lunch with some mixed salad greens. And then I put a handful of cherry tomatoes. And I also chopped a mini cucumber. You can add whatever you like to the salad. This is just a side salad. And again, I use the same seasoning here: olive oil, salt, pepper, and lime juice. This is my family's favorite dressing for salads, and it's very low calorie, it's quick, and it's easy. So it tasted delicious with this dish. So that's the plated dish. You see the steak is a little bit crispy. There's the well-seasoned rice, and then the salad on the side. Looking at this, my mouth is watering. I do not have any leftovers, so I will have to make this again soon. Okay everyone, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed these meals. I hope you give them a try. If you do, don't forget to tag me on Insta. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss out on new videos I post. I have a good collab coming for you next week. It's a pamper routine, so it's a good option for quarantine. So make sure you stay tuned for that. You hit the bell so you're notified when I post it, and make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.